Welcome to yoga. Today we're going to be doing a little something old, something new, something borrowed, not something blue. Anyway, just kind of a mix of some things we've done before and some things we haven't done. So go ahead and find your place to center. So it could be seated or supine. And thanks for coming to yoga today, for clicking on that link. And so we'll begin to bring our awareness inside. Close your eyes and just be aware of where you are and anything external. And then just gradually, in your own way, begin to bring your awareness within. Noticing any physical sensations in your body, scanning, noticing without judgment how all the places in your body feel. Any messages your body is sending you, perhaps a tightness, a pain, discomfort, or a good feeling, warm. Just notice where your body is and continue to listen to your body throughout practice. Body is your first teacher. Notice also your emotions and your state of mind. And bring your awareness to your breath. And just before we start our pranayama practice and freeing the breath or taking quote unquote control of the breath, just notice how your breath is moving in your body on its own without your conscious thinking about it. Notice the qualities of your breath. Notice how the inhale and exhale relate to each other. Notice if your breath seems shallow or deep, fast or slow, changing or consistent. And take a moment before we begin pranayama to just consciously relax your face, your jaw, your neck. Let your shoulders relax into the mat or down from your ears if you're seated. Nice, relaxed face, jaw, neck. And our pranayama today is going to be 4-2-4-2. So an inhale to a count of 4, pause in stillness for 2, exhale to a count of 4, pause in stillness for 2. So just begin to establish that to whatever count works for you, that doesn't create tension, something you can maintain easily. You can always check in if you notice tension beginning to build in your face or your jaw. That's a sign to kind of modify. If you enjoy or practice Ujjayi breathing, there's just a slight narrowing of the glottis in your throat that creates just a very soft sound inside your head. Can help you to maintain focus and to control the inflow and outflow of breath. Go ahead and do that. Otherwise, just follow the 4-2-4-2 pattern. Really keep your focus not only on the pattern, but also on the movement of breath in the body, or the not movement during the place of stillness. So this place of stillness can have an application outside of pranayama practice in learning not to be reactive. So when you notice an emotion arising, especially a negative emotion, just to take a moment before you react, perhaps say something that wasn't well thought out. It's just a space where you can make a choice instead of acting from habit. One more round. And then release the pranayama and just return to a slow, deep, even breath that you can maintain during practice, and let the breath be a guide to your right effort. So when you find that you can't maintain the slow, deep, even breath, then that's a message to just back off a little bit. Your breath might speed up a little bit, but it should not be a struggle. And just take a moment to create an intention for your practice, positive affirmation. Repeat that a few times in your mind and let it go. Come back, revisit it as needed during practice. And we'll begin practice today on our backs. So supine, come on over onto your back. Stretch out, arms down by your side to start, palms face down. Flex your feet, lengthen out gently through your feet. Spread your finger bases, so activate your arms, press down lightly into the mat. And on an inhale, bring your arms up and back overhead. Keep them there. Lengthen out in two directions. Exhale, keep your arms overhead, legs extended. Just release everything back towards center. Couple more times. Inhale, lengthen out, two directions. Exhale, soften. One more time. Full body stretch. Now take one more inhale. And on your exhale, draw your right knee into your chest. Take a hold behind the thigh or on the shin and squeeze it in. Exhale. Inhale, arms up, legs straight. Next exhale, bring your left knee into your chest, squeeze it in. This is something old, something that we've done a lot, but not for a while. And just continue moving in time to your breath, so slow movements, alternately bringing in one leg and then the other. Now, if you'd like to add a little more flexion, spinal flexion and core work, as you bring your knee in, pull your belly in, and you can bring your nose up toward your knee. This is optional, so choose the movement that works for you today, that feels right, that feels good. And the next time you come to an exhale, draw both knees into your chest. Take a hold around your legs and just rock side to side. Maybe make circles. You can put your hands on your knees. Make circles with your knees around your hips, circle around the sacrum. And then maybe circle your knees in opposite directions around your hips. And slow those circles down and begin to circle the other way. So opening up the hips a little bit. Notice any sensations without judgment. Areas that you might have to be a little careful with. And then bring that to stillness. Bring both feet to the mat so your knees are bent. Hands down by your sides, palms face down. Inhale, take your right leg up. Turn the toes out, so externally rotate the leg, and then bring your right ankle to your left knee, and draw that leg in toward your chest if that works. So figure 4, this is pigeon on the back. We're going to be doing pigeon pose later in the practice, so this is a little prep. So modify this pose, keep your right foot flexed for the alignment of the knee. You can draw gently the left leg toward your chest. You can get a little more out of this by pressing with your elbow the right leg gently away, just noticing the stretch in the outer right hip there. Another option is to straighten your left leg foot up toward the ceiling. And another option is to bring your belly in on an exhale and lift your chest up toward your left thigh. You could also rotate the left ankle if your foot is straight. So just kind of take a minute or so to play with this pose. Experiment with some variations and find the place where you're getting the most out of it. So stretch that feels good. Not too much, but something. Certainly not pain. And continue to breathe. Slow, deep, even breaths. Exhale, soften. See if you can find some release. A few more seconds. Now bring the left foot down, uncross the right leg, and we'll do that to the other side. So inhale the left leg up, straight up, externally rotate, bring the left ankle on the right knee, and come into figure 4, pigeon on the back. On the other side, this side will be different. So as you settle into the pose, find the right degree of effort and stretch that works for this side. You may do something different than on the other side. Inhale, lengthen, broaden. Exhale, soften, release. Check in with your face, your jaw. Relax your shoulders. Stay with the breath. Okay, now bring your right foot down, left foot back to the mat. And we're going to come up to all fours. So you can cross your ankles and rock up, or you can come onto your side and come up that way. So best way for you, come up to an all four posture. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Spread your fingers, press into the fleshy bases of your fingers. Take a little weight off the wrists. Press into the bottoms of your legs, the tops of your feet, and begin some gentle movements of cat-cow. Exhaling, spinal flexion. Inhaling, spinal extension. Just starting gently, slowly. Move with your breath. So breath is slow, deep, and even. And your movements are also. And the next time you come to an inhale, let your hips go back over your heels into a child's pose, but not to stay. Inhale, scoop back up through cow. Exhale, round your back into child's pose. So just a little different movement here, a little addition of child's pose. Still moving slowly, breathing fully. See if you can stay with the sensation and the movement through the whole breath cycle. And the next time you come back up to all fours, pause, neutral spine. Take your hands out about hand length in front of you. And on an inhale, on an exhale, actually, come into puppy pose. So you're going to keep your hips up and bring your thighs, chest toward your thighs, head toward the mat. So this is shoulder extension, way out. And then scoop forward. Come all the way up on your arms, straight arms. Pelvis toward the floor. Exhale, up and back. This time hips more toward your heels. Scoop up. This is upward facing dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. So this is just another little vinyasa. Exhale back. Your hips probably won't go all the way to your heels. Then scoop up. Open chest, lift your chest, let your pelvis fall down toward the mat. Exhale back. Couple more times. And the next time your hips come back, go all the way back down into child's pose and just rest. So let everything sink down. If you need a support, but behind your knees or under your head, whatever you need so that you can just release completely here, just for a quick rest. So after movement, stillness allows your body to integrate the movements that you just did. Come back to your breath. And then come back to all fours. Tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back into downward dog. Have deeply bent knees for the first down dog. Knees are bent, lift your sit bones up, and then gradually straighten. Move towards straightening your legs. You don't have to become all the way straight. Perhaps pedal your feet a little bit. And then bend your knees, walk your feet up to your hands and come into Uttanasana, standing forward bend. Again, knees bent deeply. And then as you settle in, you might want to see about straightening them a little. Just hang. You can take hold of opposite elbows. Hands can be on the floor. You can sway, take any movement. But what you're doing here is lengthening out the low back, releasing. Letting the weight of your upper body just lengthen everything out, your spine. And then bring your hands to your shins. Come up in a half lift, lengthen out both directions. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Palms touch down to your heart center. And come into mountain pose. So build your mountain pose from the foundation up, the feet up. Spread your toes first. Make sure you've got a broad base of support there. And then stack all the way up, open chest. Externally rotate your shoulders. Spread your fingers, Pada Bandha, and lift up through the crown of your head. Close your eyes if you have the balance. And let's just center right here, stable like a mountain with minimal effort. Let go of any effort not needed to maintain the alignment. You probably don't need to be squeezing your glute muscles. Certainly not anything in your face. Jaw, shoulders down and back. Reconnect with your breath. And let's just do a couple of half sun salutations. So inhale, arms up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, chair. Exhale, up and around. 2 more of those in time to your own breath. And then come to stillness. And we're going to go into a balance pose, tree pose. But before we do that, building on what we did last week with the practicing falling, we're not going to practice falling as much, but let's get our joints all starting with the hips. So begin to circle your hips and then let it go into your knees and all the way down to your ankles. So just kind of juicing up, loosening up, warming up the joints so that when we go into balance of tree pose, we will have flexibility there, not locking up, not being paralyzed in the pose. Okay, then bring that to stillness and tree pose. So let the weight go into your left foot, come up onto your right toe. So just start moving in step by step. Have your drishti, gaze point, something that's not moving. And we're going to concentrate this time on staying kind of loose, so not locking up. You do have to firm up the muscles on the left side hip, on the standing leg hip. But your hip and knee and ankle need to be able to move to adjust to the balance. So when you've got that, then you can bring your right leg up to your calf or your thigh. And then you bring your arms into it if you want to. So make your tree pose. Play with it. Don't be afraid to fall out. That's practicing. And just stay ready to react. So that means not locking everything up. Swaying a little bit is good. Smiling is good. Being playful is good. Breathing is absolutely essential. Nice, slow, even breath. Come out, go back, come out, go back. Just take time, be mindful. And then come out with as much control as you went in. Shake everything out. And we'll come to the other side. So build your mountain pose with the weight down into your right foot. And just make sure your core is engaged gently. And you have a drishti, something that's not moving. And build the challenges as you feel comfortable. Okay, and then come out carefully, mindfully, and turn to face the long edge of your mat. Spread your feet wide apart. Toes, feet are parallel, perhaps a little pigeon-toed or heels a little bit out, but not the other way around. Lift and spread your toes, press into your both feet, especially the inner edges, so a little slight inward rotation. And bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, lengthen up through the crown of your head. Exhale, tilt your tailbone up and hinge forward right at your hips. Lengthen out through the crown of your head. Keep your spine long. This might be a good place to have a block. So come halfway down. Spine is long and straight. You might be able to take your feet a little wider apart here. So get all the flexion you can at your hips, and then let the whole upper body come down, staying long. And a few times lift halfway, half lift, exhale, fold, wide leg forward bend. Inhale, lift, exhale, fold. One more time, lift, fold. Walk your hands over to your right foot or ankle. Chest toward your thigh. Back to center. Walk your hands toward your left leg. Chest toward left thigh. Back to center. Come up halfway, long, straight back. Bring your hands to your waist or hips. And on an inhale, press into your feet. Come strongly up. And maybe bring your feet back a little closer together if you've lengthened them out. Lift your left heel and rotate it back toward the back corner of your mat. Pivot on your right heel, bring your right toes toward the front edge or short edge of your mat. Feet are on a line. So this is open hip. We're going to move toward Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Square your shoulders to the long edge of the mat. Inhale, bring your arms up, shoulder height. Take a look at your back hand and your front hand. Just see that they're level. Bend your right knee right over the right ankle, so adjust your stance so that can happen. Take your gaze over your right middle finger. Just take a nice, slow, deep, even breath here, Warrior 2. Then we're going to begin a little vinyasa movement. So on your inhale, straighten your right leg, bring both arms overhead, your gaze comes forward. Exhale, back to Warrior 2. Bent leg, gaze over the right finger. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more moving. Your feet, your foundation stays the same. And then hold in Warrior 2 for a couple breaths. Then the next inhale, reach your right arm out, bring your right forearm to your right thigh. Left arm is up. This is Parsvottanasana. Keep that left shoulder moving back. And then We're going to circle the arm. So bring the arm back by your hip and up and around. Couple more times. Back and around. Keep breathing. And the next time your arm comes up, hold there. You can take your gaze up to that hand, but don't have to. You can look down. You can look forward. Couple breaths, Parsvottanasana, bent side angle. And then inhale, let the left arm bring you up. Parallel your feet. Bring your feet together. Take 2 rounds of half sun to bring some movement. Inhale. Exhale. You can come up through chair or not, just any kind of a half sun variation that works for you. And then we'll move to the other side. So step your feet wide apart. This time, right heel pivots back, left toes toward the short edge. Bend your left knee right over the left ankle. Shoulders are squared to the long edge. Inhale, arms up. Gaze over the left middle finger. Lengthen up through the crown of your head. Press down through both feet. Out through both hands. Spine rises right up through the middle of your pelvis. Inhale, straighten left leg, arms up. Exhale, Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more time. And hold for a few breaths. Then reach your left arm out, bring your left forearm to your left thigh, right arm up. So make sure that right shoulder is pulling back. And then begin to circle the right arm around. Keep your breath even. Perhaps inhale as the arm rises, exhale as it comes down. This is the something new and the something borrowed. So this little sequence I borrowed from a class that I took virtually at the studio that I go to. Stop with your arm raised. Take a couple breaths. Parsvottanasana on this side. And then inhale, come back up. Bring your feet together. And a couple of rounds of half sun. And then next time you come into a forward bend. Bend your knees, plant your hands, step your feet back into downward facing dog. And then inhale your knees to the mat. So come into all fours, and we're going to move into pigeon. So bring your right knee up to the outside of your right wrist. Slide your left leg back. So you're on the top of your left foot. Turn to see that that leg is straight behind you. It's not splayed out to the side. Inhale, lengthen up. And then exhale, walk your hands forward. Come onto your forearms. Whatever's comfortable, you can support your head. You can come all the way down. You want your hips to be level, so you can put a block or a blanket under the side if they're not level. And come forward into pigeon. Now there's some options here. If it's not comfortable to have your leg out to the side like that, you can bring the heel closer. Instead of having the shin parallel, bring it more at an angle. Or you can come on, have your left shin right under your right thigh and come that way. Or if it doesn't work for you, you can do pigeon on the back that we did earlier on the figure 4. But see if you can find a place to relax. There can be strong sensations in pigeon. So modify so that it's strong but not painful. So you're getting something out of it. See if you can soften on the exhale. Let go of any gripping. And then use your hands to come back up. Keep the right leg bent. Come over onto your right hip and swing your left leg around so the left foot comes to the outside of the right knee and thigh. Lengthen up. We're going to do a twist here. So twisting and protecting your low back involves strengthening, activating your core to support the lumbar region, and twisting from the bottom up. So start by lengthening up. Take your left hand behind you to help support your spine a little bit. Take your left hand around the right hand, around the left knee. So inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, belly in and up, and begin twisting from down below, and don't over twist. So and keep your head in line with your shoulders. And then after you get your twist there, then you can bring your head around if that's comfortable or not. You don't have to. Each inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, relax. Ardha Matsyendrasana, half lord of the fishes. And then when you come out of a twist, you come out from the top down. So head and shoulders come around first, and then your abdomen. Then uncross your legs, and we'll come into pigeon on the other side. So back to all fours. Left knee forward toward the left wrist. And you can find the right angle that you need between your upper and lower leg. Slide your right knee back on the top of your right leg and foot. Lengthen out and up before you lower down. You might come this far. You might rest your head on a block or a blanket. Keep your left foot flexed to protect the alignment of your knee. If you feel any discomfort, you have to be especially careful about your knee. So make little adjustments so you find the place that feels like a good stretch, a good opening. Continue to breathe. Let your breath tell you if you have the right effort. If your breath becomes shallow and fast, just back off a little bit. And then use your arms to bring yourself up. Bring the right foot, right leg across the left. Right hand behind you for a little kickstand. Lengthen up first. Lengthen nice and tall. Engage your transverse abdominis. That's the in and up motion. So get that going. Zip it up. And then gradually exhale. You got your belly in. Begin twisting from the lower body. The last thing to come around is your shoulders and your head. Doesn't really matter how far you get. You're going for, you definitely don't want to overdo it. So just a twist that is comfortable, but you can feel some stretching. Make sure your core is supporting your lower spine. So when you activate the transverse abdominis, you're putting pressure on the organs in your abdomen, and those are helping to support the low back too. And you're lengthening and strengthening at the same time. Lengthening on the inhale and exhale. Belly in, maybe twist a little more. And then come out of that. Lengthen out your legs. Flex your feet, hands down by your hips. Tall, straight spine. Lengthen in two directions, out through your feet, up through the crown of your head, Dandasana. Just bringing everything back to neutral. And then gradually lower down, coming onto your back. And we'll do a final twist. So go back into the figure 4 configuration. So right leg up, right ankle on left knee. Don't pull it into your chest though. Bring your arms out, shoulder height, palms facing up, and let your legs move over toward the left. So your right foot, left knee are coming toward the floor. Try to keep your shoulders on the mat. If this is not comfortable for you, modify it. You can go into a windshield wipe twist, any other kind of twist you want. So just going to hold this for about a minute. Inhale right to the place where you feel sensation. Exhale, allow softening, allow release. Consciously think release. Take your awareness right to that place that's stretching and relax. And then inhale, come back to center, uncross your legs. You take a few taps on the back of your pelvis, sacrum, and take a twist to the other side. So it can be the figure 4, if that worked for you, or any other supine twist that feels good to you. Stay with your breath. Coming to the end of practice, so keep your awareness inside. Focus on release. And then inhale, come back up. Take any last movement or pose as you move towards Shavasana. And then as you set up for the final rest pose, maybe the most important pose. Make sure that you are cozy, comfortable. Your body is balanced and symmetrical. And you're supported in a way that requires minimal energy, minimal effort. So the focus of Shavasana is surrender, total surrender. Let go of tension, effort in your body. Let go of thoughts, stories in your brain. Those things will still be going on, but don't attach. Just notice. Notice and let them float on. Just surrender to the present moment. You might bring your gaze to the third eye, the space between your eyebrows, center of intuition, just as a resting point, a still point. And gently bring your awareness back to the space. Begin to deepen your breath. Awaken your body with small movements. Next, rock your head side to side. Move your fingers and toes. And gradually bring yourself over onto your side. Excuse me. And just rest in a side child's pose for a few breaths. Scanning your body as we did at the beginning of practice, just taking stock, seeing where you are. Noticing any benefits of practice. Remembering your intention. And use your arms to bring yourself up to a comfortable seat. Eyes closed. Hands in a comfortable position on your legs or in your lap. Take 2 or 3 slow, deep, even breaths, following the breath from the moment you're aware of it entering your body, all the way to the end of the inhale, and following it all the way till you last feel it exiting through your nose. And the body filling with that prana, life force, and relaxing, expelling everything you no longer need. And then I invite you to bring your hands palm together, thumbs at your heart space, bow lightly to your efforts today, your willingness to take this time for yourself. And I encourage you during this busy time, which is compounded with all the stresses of the virus and restrictions and perhaps inability to be with loved ones at this special time of the year, I encourage you to take some of your yoga off the mat, to give yourself time for restoration, for pause, for calming, whether it's through breathing practice or a little meditation or a yoga practice before you go to bed that will help you sleep better. Just to give yourself what you need to make it through this busy time and have it be a happy time. The light in me bows to and honors the very same light in each of you. Namaste. Thanks for coming. And I'm going to be taking a couple weeks off because my yoga studio here is going to be a guest room for some family we have coming for the holidays. So the next new yoga will be posted on January 6th. So there won't be a new practice for the next 2 Wednesdays, but you can always do an old practice or a home practice. So I wish you all a very happy, healthy holiday season, and I'll see you back here on January 6th. Bye.